Om Shanti. Let's take a couple of moments to stabilize ourselves and give ourselves completely to what Baba has to convey to us through today's Murli. The mind is fresh, alert, agile, and receptive, ready and welcoming to imbibe the learnings that Baba has shared today. This Murli is dated 19th September 1972, and the title of the Murli is Means of Eliminating Compulsions, and that is strength. मजबूरियों को समाप्त करने की साधना, मजबूती. It's a long Murli, and we shall go through the whole Murli today. Are all of you stabilized in your unshakable, immovable, and constant stage? Are you stabilized in the stage of the Mahavirs that is remembered from the previous Kalpa? Are you coming close to your final stage of being a detached observer? Cheerful, detached, and extremely loving? Or is that stage still far off? You're able to closely see the signs and qualities of anything that is coming close to you. So, what do you people experience? Is that final stage coming close? What other stage is even closer than that of being close? What other stage is even closer than that of coming closer to the final stage? That stage is about coming closer to the Father. So are you coming closer to the Father? What are you experiencing? You are coming close, are you not? Every day's teachings, learnings, every day's manthans, day by day, the interest getting deeper and deeper. They're all stages and steps of coming close. Looking at using the values and virtues are the stages of coming close. You do not come to a standstill whilst moving along, do you? You do not stop on seeing a sight scene, do you? When you're traveling, say by a car and there is a countryside, you just pass by it. You don't stop, you keep on seeing it. Do you? Don't you? Are you experiencing the stage of ascent, of climbing up, of going up? It is not the stopping stage, is it? Yeah. When people go on a physical pilgrimage, they continually keep on moving and they don't stop anywhere. This is also a spiritual pilgrimage, is it not? You must not stop here either. You have to continue to move whilst being tireless, unshakable, and firm. Then you will reach your destination. If you see, when people go on a physical pilgrimage, They keep on moving ahead with all the zest and zeal. They keep on singing songs, Jai Mata Di, the same way. You must not stop either. You have to continue to move whilst being tireless, unshakable, and firm. Then you will reach your destination. This is the aim you've kept, is it not? If your aim is firm, then you also develop the qualifications. By your having that strength, any compulsion is finished. The moment you have that strength, then no compulsion can bind you. If there isn't any strength, then many types of compulsion are also visible. All the compulsions of Maya, they are visible. You do consider yourselves to be Mahavirs, do you not? A Mahavir will not consider any type of compulsion to be a compulsion. In 1 second, on the basis of his strength, he will finish the compulsion. In the same way, you have to stabilize the foot of your intellect in the remembrance of the Father, of the one Father, so that, just like Angad, no one is able to make you fluctuate. So in our mythology, Bali's son Angad, he had his foot grounded and he challenged Ravana that even if you move, you call all of your army and call anyone and everyone, if they can just move my foot one bit, then Sita will be yours. That is how strong, determined, and unshakable he was. You became this a kalpa ago also, did you not? Do you remember this? Since you became this in the previous kalpa, what is difficult in repeating that same part? Is it difficult to repeat a part that you've already played many times? So you are a multi-million times fortunate. Out of the entire world right now, counting out of 800 crore plus people on this planet, there are so few who know the Father and claim their birthright. And we are one of them. There are not countless of these, they can be counted. You are also amongst those few who know this, are you not? So, does this not make you multi-million times fortunate? At present, the world is sleeping in the sleep of ignorance, whereas you, out of the many, are claiming the right to the Father's inheritance. When all of those have awakened and they try to take even a few grains, what will happen then? Will they be able to take it then? When it becomes too late, what will they be able to take? At that time, all of you souls will also have a vision of your elevated fortune in a practical form. At this moment, as we are all preparing ourselves, suddenly there's going to be an upsurge. Things are going to just show up unexpectedly. And you will be asked for everywhere. At present, it is incognito. Now, because of it being incognito, they neither know the Father, nor do they know you elevated souls. They consider you to be ordinary. But the time is not far off when they will awaken and cry out in distress. They will cry and repent. But even then, they will not be able to attain anything. At that time, all of you will have so much pride in yourselves that you recognize Baba earlier and claim the right. You should maintain such happiness. Baba's asking, what have you received? Whom have you found? What is going to happen? Whilst knowing all this, you must continue to dance in supersensuous happiness. Do you have such a stage? Or do the papers sometimes make you fluctuate? You do not fluctuate, do you? You do not become afraid, do you? Baba's asking, but if you look practically, yet there might be Maya gripping all of us in some form or the other. And that's the practice. And the practice is not to fluctuate or become afraid. Or is it that when you hear things from one another, waves of fear come and that you then put yourself right? So shifting from being God fearing to God loving. What do you think the result is? And what is the result of the Madhuban Nivasis? We all are Madhuban Nivasis. Madhuban Nivasis are lighthouses. A lighthouse is high up and it shows the path. You are all moving along according to the directions of Madhuban. So it has become a lighthouse, has it not? And there is also the elevated stage. As it is said of the Father that his task is elevated, in the same way, Madhuban is also the elevated space. So the name and the task would both be elevated, would they not? The very name is Madhuban. This is the speciality of the Madhuban Nivasis, is it not? The images of sweetness and those who have unlimited disinterest. On the one hand, you have sweetness, and on the other hand, you have just much an attitude of unlimited disinterest. So the practice of detaching, of not getting impacted, and at the same time having sweetness for yourself and for people around. With the attitude of unlimited disinterest, would you simply remain serious and mature? Does having disinterest mean that you have to become indifferent or become serious or abstain? No. In fact, a truly mature and serious nature has an entertaining nature merged within. Why? Because there is the recognition and the realization of the Father. Perhaps when those who do not have any knowledge have a serious nature, they are so serious that there won't be any name or trace of being entertaining. And we can see practically around how much the rest of the souls who are in ignorance, how much they are stressed. However, the accurate virtue of being serious and mature is completed with the virtue of being entertaining. Why? Because our job, responsibility, is to spread the light, the awareness, and happiness around. You explain to people that the soul is an embodiment of peace. However, the soul is not just an embodiment of peace, but within that peace, bliss, love, and knowledge are also all merged. How beautifully Baba said this. However, the soul is not just an embodiment of peace, but along with peace, There is bliss, love, and knowledge, which are also merged. In the same way, the speciality of the Madhuban Nivasis is that they are the images of such unlimited disinterest, but that they also have sweetness. Do those who maintain an attitude of unlimited disinterest ever become afraid? Can they ever fluctuate? Can they ever shake? No matter how strongly others may try to make them fluctuate, those who have an attitude of unlimited disinterest are the conquerors of attachment and the embodiment of remembrance. No matter how strongly others may try to make them fluctuate, those who have an attitude of unlimited disinterest, they are the conquerors of attachment and the embodiment of remembrance. So, are you the conquerors of attachment and the embodiment of remembrance? Or when you see even a little something, do you have love or you call it attachment? Call it whatever you will. But what is the form of love? You know this, do you not? You become cooperative with the one you love. But to let the form of love emerge as a custom or system, would this be called love or will it be called attachment? You become cooperative with the one you love. And here we would want to reflect that do we cooperate with people that we love or do we end up having expectations and the consequences of that around? But to let the form of love emerge as a custom or system, would this be called love or attachment? So have the Madhuban Nivasis passed in this subject? Because the Madhuban Nivasis are lighthouses, their attitude and vibrations spread into the atmosphere in all four directions in 1 second. Do you play every part considering yourselves to be such instruments? Or do you become little children at that time? What is the result? What happens with little children? When they want something, they become ziddi. They say, no, we want it. That's the attachment over here that Baba's talking about. What is the result? Nothing has happened as yet. A lot more is still to happen. You may think that because something happened suddenly, only a little has happened. However, a paper comes suddenly, it does not give advance warning. You've already been told that you will be given such papers. At that time, they will happen suddenly. And that is how Baba is getting each one of us ready. So, if there is the slightest fluctuation in your thoughts because of a paper that comes suddenly, then are you like Angad? Have you not yet reached that final stage? This is an awakening. You were asked what is the stage that is even closer than that of being close. That is, of being able to see it in front of you. Whilst coming close, that thing comes right in front of you. So do you experience closeness or are you able to see that stage right in front of you? Can you be sakshi to it? And can you see it in front of you? Rather than getting engulfed into it? Today, you are this and tomorrow you will become this. Do you experience it to be right in front of you in this way? You saw in the experience of the Sakar form how his future form and his final complete form always used to be clearly in front of him. Similarly, you have to follow the Father. Just as the perfect stage and the future stage constantly stage in front of the Father, in the same way, are you also experiencing this? Or are you thinking, I don't know what the future will be? Preparing yourself for the future stage in the present moment. Just as the perfect stage and the future stage constantly stayed in front of the Father, in the same way, Baba's telling us and asking us, are we also experiencing this? Or are we thinking, I don't know what the future will be? We all know what the future is. It is never clear, though. It is never announced, but it is there. However, the Mahavir effort makers will always have it clear in their intellect. So, are you able to see it clearly? Or is there a thin veil in between? Nowadays, they also have transparent veils. You're able to see everything through it, yet it is still a veil. However, there would be a difference in seeing something clearly without a veil in between and seeing something through a veil, would there not? So, according to your effort, there isn't a transparent veil in between still remaining. Is there? Everything is absolutely clear, is it not? So, Madhuban Nivasis are unshakable, are they not? Or do you have the thought, what is happening? You do not have any questions of why and what, do you? Whatever part is being played, a very deep significance is contained with each part. What was that significance? You were told earlier that in order to warn you of the time, a bell is rung every now and then. This is why people ring the bells in front of your non living images. They awaken you by ringing the bells. They put you to sleep by ringing the bells. Here also, because the scripture writers have shown a long duration of the time and put everyone to sleep, you are given a warning of the time by the ringing of bells. Everyone is sleeping in the sleep of ignorance because they think that they still have a lot of time. So, here also, Maya makes the soul of the divine family careless with her various colors and forms and her customs and systems, and makes them distant from the recognition of the time and puts them in the sleep of the slackness of effort. Maya puts that veil in front of us. It makes the souls of the divine family careless with her various colors and forms and her customs and systems, and makes them distant from the recognition of time and puts them in the sleep of the slackness of effort. When people are careless, they are comfortable in that. But when they have a responsibility, they have to pay attention that they get up on time and do something. If there is no responsibility, they become careless and go to sleep. So, this is also a carelessness they develop. When they become careless and are lost in the sleep of being slack in effort, what do you then have to do? What is our job? We have to shake them. You have to create some sort of upheaval so that they wake up. As is the sleep they are in, so is the kind of noise you make. Whatever it takes, just wake them up, starting with your own self. If they are in deep sleep, you have to shake them. But if they are light sleepers, they awaken with the slightest movement. At present, you haven't yet shaken anyone. Only a little movement has taken place. You use something else as an instrument to shake that person so that he awakens. Here, in the drama also, when the images that were the form of a warning were shaken a little, and a little movement was created. And when that happened, everyone awoke because they were in a light sleep. They definitely did awaken, but did they cry out as soon as they awoke? When someone is suddenly awakened, he becomes afraid and wonders what happened. When someone is in a deep sleep and you shake them and jostle them, they become afraid, they are shocked, and they wonder what happened. Some awaken properly, and some become conscious after having become a little afraid. However, it should not be like this. There shouldn't be the slightest trace of any kind of fear visible on your face. There shouldn't be the slightest change even in your sound. If there is a difference in your sound or on your face, then would you call this a pass? In fact, this is nothing. Many more difficult papers are still to come. When a paper is not to be given until after a long time, the students become careless in their study. Then, when the examination days come closer, they pay attention. This is so relatable. So, as yet, you have seen nothing. However, such papers are to come that you wouldn't even have thought or dreamt of. You should have such a practice that it will be as though you are seeing a limited drama as a detached observer. Then, whether a scene is of a pain or of laughter, you observe both parts as a detached observer. There won't be any difference in either scene because you will consider it to be a drama. So you should have such a constant stage, that kind of a stability, that kind of an equilibrium, that kind of a sthita pragyata. Whether the part is of being entertaining or of a serious or mature part of a loving soul, see that also as a detached observer, not making it significant. You should have the stage of being a detached observer. Your stage should not be that of being afraid or of battling. Some are not afraid, but they are still engaged in battling. There must definitely be some benefit. However, the stage of being a detached observer is completely separate. This is known as the constant stage. That will only happen when you constantly remain absorbed in the remembrance of the one Father, Baba, and the inheritance. That is all, nothing else. The stage of being a detached observer, that is what a constant stage is, that will only happen when we constantly remain absorbed in the remembrance of the one Father, of Baba, and the inheritance. That is all that is required, nothing else. While seeing, listening, or coming into connection or relationship, you will consider it to be playing your part as a detached observer. The intellect should be lost in that love. Let there be the intoxication of the Father and the inheritance. This is why you must now create such a stage. Therefore, in order for you to judge yourself, these papers come to you. Otherwise, how else would you know? Each of you receives a thermometer to recognize your own stage through which you can judge your own stage for yourself. There is no need for anyone to tell you anything. And Baba is saying, do not become afraid. When you go into the depth, all fear will be finished. Because of not going into the depth, that is the reason you become afraid. Baba has especially come to meet the Madhuban Nivasis. You are the ones with the most elevated fortune, are you not? Others continue to make programs, but you attain everything without programs, and so this is a speciality, is it not? Baba himself comes running to Madhuban. The result is good. That was only a little upheaval. You have now understood that little upheaval, have you not? Now you have to remove even that. Even the slightest flaw will make you fail. If there is the slightest flaw in the last final paper, then you fail. This is why, in order to make you strong, papers are given in advance. And a warning is also given in advance. Baba is also preparing us in advance for the papers that are going to come. We don't know what papers are going to come, but Baba is warning us and getting us ready that papers will come. So stabilize yourself in the stage of being a detached observer. Be serious but not significant. Make it light for the other soul to see it through. However, the result of the present time is very good. All of you are very good and loving and cooperate with one another. You were also told earlier that the machinery of subtle service is always working. And so the machinery of Madhuban Nivasis is always working. So the subtle machinery of the Madhuban Nivasis has now started to work. At other service centers also, there is subtle service taking place. But according to the present result, Madhuban Nivasis are number one in this service. This is why you are given congratulations. Until now, you have been given the proof of love and cooperation. Until now, you have been giving the proof of love and cooperation. That proof is reaching wherever you want it to reach in the form of a medicine. Yours is a powerful medicine, is it not? As your powerful medicine reaches everywhere, accordingly, they are becoming healthy through that. If you continue to send even more powerful medicine, then they can become all right in even 1 week. There is a margin to make this fast. Even so, the result is good. When such a good result is seen, the light of the lighthouse reaches all four directions. Through this, other places are also being influenced by the influence of the lighthouse. Acha, to those who constantly move along in one direction and with a high speed, who constantly stay in the remembrance of one, to the Pandav army and the Shakti army. Love, remembrances, and namaste from Bap Dada to those who constantly move along in one direction and with a high speed, who constantly stay in the remembrance of one, to the Pandav army and the Shakti army. Love, remembrances, and namaste from Bap Dada. And from us children, love, remembrances, and namaste to our dear Bap Dada. Om Shanti. Let's take a couple of moments to reflect and then come ready to share our experiences. Okay, y'all can unmute yourself and be ready to share.
Om Shanti, brother.
Ji.
I love that line where Baba says, just like a thermometer, you can actually check your own stage. And actually, deep within, we all know where we are and what more has to be done. When we are reflective from within, we actually can see ourselves in a detached manner and actually observe our weaknesses. Do we really have that attitude of disinterest? Do we really have gone past the stage of attachment? And I think that reflection is what is very important when Baba is trying to tell us, use the thermometer for your own self so that you're ready for any paper, the most difficult paper, and you still experience it in the same way, without a flinch, not on your face, not in your voice, and you calmly accept whatever is happening. Om Shanti.
Yes, it's a time, this time is to shake ourselves up and get into the face of reality. Thank you,
Om
sister.
Shanti. Vishwai.
Yes.
Wonderful Murli. Long Murli, but every word has got so much of wisdom. And what I would like to just describe here is about the detached observer stage. The detached observer stage is beautiful stage where we look at the limited drama, with a detached stage where I am not involved in the drama. I'm just a spectator watching the serious scenes as well as the pleasant scenes alike. No thoughts popping up in my mind about why, what. These questions do not arise in the detached observer stage. So the question is, where will I be seated when I'm in this limited drama? The soul will be seated in the unlimited drama, the five swarups, or in the constant remembrance of the Almighty. So that is one aspect. And second is about the papers. As sister has rightly brought out, that papers are like, thermometers. Papers are like thermometers. Use them to check our own internal stage, how powerful internal stage is. If there is a fluctuation, if there is any shake shaking in the thoughts, popping up of why, what. That means I am involved in the limited drama. I get entangled. I'm in kind of a bondage, some kind of attachment, some kind of expectation. So I need to be careful here. Om Shanti.
Yeah, one thing that I'm getting for myself home by as uh, I was reading this Murli and inside of this churning is that we all do a lot of hard work in uh, detaching ourselves. And what I am seeing for myself is that I am not doing that one thing that is required, that is to be constantly be connected to one. That's all actually that is needed. The rest of the things will take care of its own, will be taken care on its own. There'll be no
Yes,
hard work then.
yes, Vaiji. True, very true. That is the key.
Yeah,
That is the core.
yeah, that is the key. And I'm seeing my gap right now that, yeah, I am connected, but I am not constantly connected. And that is how the other things they just manage to creep in and hijack us and take us
And the
away from
constant,
the stage.
yes, yes, the constant remembrance is broken by the body consciousness. Uh, so the checking is again, am I 100% soul conscious and Swaroop in my own, the real form? Am I experiencing that? Because then there is a current flow from me to Baba, Baba to me. That constant companionship, the combined stage. But
Yeah,
the moment I come down, then that will break the connection, internet connection. Om Shanti.
it's like a vicious cycle on by that we
Yes,
feel that, oh, when I will come overcome all of this, then I'll be able to connect to one. But it is actually the other way around.
other
The
way.
moment
Yeah.
you get connected to the one constantly, the rest of the things will be taken care of on its own. But like how the sanskars would be, the default sanskars would be that we are used to do a lot of hard work. So we don't do that easy one work of getting connected to one.
This
So
reminds
that is
me
what,
of the this reminds me of this artificial intelligence concept which is coming up now.
yeah, yeah,
Here we have real intelligence. The infinite
yeah,
intelligence is with us. You know, and we are embodiment of infinite intelligence. Baba has made us Pap Saman. So if it happens automatically, our default programming itself is like this. I don't have to make effort. It easily connects. Then that I think it's an important tool we can
yeah.
work on. Uh, Om Shanti.
So AI, artificial intelligence, is getting replaced by RI, that is real intellect.
Om, Om Shanti, brother.
Yes, yes, sister.
I like the way Baba really started with checklist, which I just, as and when you were reading the Murli, I tried to put it in the chat box. Are you this? Are you that? Are you this? To just bring that, check my soul. Am I really cheerful? Am I depressed? So he gives a big checklist. And then he gives an analogy of Angad and all to see how brave I am. And then how he says, this masburiya, how do I make it into masboot? How do I make it strong? The way Baba really introduced it, even I just tried to get myself ready. Then when he spoke about Madhuban, I was saying, oh, Baba speaking about Madhuban. But I remember in one of the seasons, when somebody asked Baba, when there is going to be a Vinash, why so much buildings are being built? Why all this is being built? Then Baba said, at the end, when you children come to Madhuban, where are you going to stay? I need a place for you to stay. So that one picture always I used to keep in mind. Oh, so I have to run. So when I have to run, that Baba said, you will hear the gong. The bell will be rung. So I like this way, the way Baba is saying, devotees bell ringing, but what is my spiritual awakening? When the bell is rung, do I just really hurry myself and run? Like sometimes they say, when you want to wake up a person, just some people, they wake up, get up, it's time. Or are you going to wake them up with a nice cup of coffee so that they get the thing? So what's the way of spiritual awakening with that bell which I'm going to wake up at the end? Am I all ready so that I will just go and do it? So I like the way Baba spoke about the spiritual awakening, because it's not only for the devotees, even for me, the final moments, I have to awaken myself and I have to go. Then the last part I like is that subtle missionary, because Baba spoke about this 2 days back. Baba said, your world benefactors, you should have a fragrance of spirituality attracting people from a distance. And the Father even, see, when for devotees also, he does in a subtle way by really going in front of them. So what is our subtle missionary? When we give the devotees the gyan or the message of the Father, and as if we feel those souls are visible in front of us, but actually they are not. But I will get the experience, I'm giving the knowledge, and those people are there. So I even like that subtle missionary. So the spiritual awakening and subtle missionary is what a very strong point in the Murli today.
And the way we are, we don't take the bell or the gong as the final gong. The children are when they are sleeping and the mothers are waking them up to go to school. Acha utho, until the time the last one is the hardest one. The child knows that now this is the final one. So that is the way we are when we need to recognize that no, the first gong is only the final gong. Thank you, sister. Yes, Pratibha Ben, Sakshi Ben, Sandhya Ben. What are the practices that we are committing to take from today? Something to reflect, something to look at. Are we all looking at yet continuing doing the hard work? Yes.
I like this point, brother. So many points, but Baba today mainly mentioning about this interest.
Sister, your voice is not clear.
Hello?
Yeah, your voice is not clear.
Brother, now it is okay?
Yeah, this is better. Yes.
Okay, brother, sorry. I am in train now going, so
No
it is
problem.
so noisy.
No.
So I share tomorrow.
No, you can share, not a problem. Yes, Girjaban, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just waiting for that sister to Brother, could a little bit of churning on this. Baba said, when you go in depth, all fear will finish. We all know fear is there because we only know things at the surface. We are afraid of going deep. Oh, kya hoga, what will be there? That one thing. And somebody were talking about papers. What I feel for me as a soul, I would love any paper if Baba gives me in advance. I would ready, but not at the final stage. See, in the final stage, and I'm standing in a line, and Baba Dharamraj walks back like a commander who's watching a parade, and then he finds my shoe unpolished. I never liked that kind of a scene. So sometimes I feel better to take papers now than getting in the last paper. So that earlier paragraph when he said all fear finished, and the next paragraph, Baba saying, even one small flaw, some polish not there, oh, then I'll feel. So sometimes, that fear, even though I go in depth, comes. So what is this kind of connection which we have to maintain so that, the depth is there, but I don't think about that final papers at all.
Yes, the way I can look at it, sister, is that if you see fear, the full form of fear is false experiences appearing real. Okay. So when we see fear, our mind cannot uh, differentiate between a reality and a thought. That is the reason it also takes the thought as something that is happening right now. And that is why we get fearful. And that happens when we think too much. Okay. And we are very creative people. Human beings are very clear, creative people. So we have a very colorful, vibrant way of creating a fearful image as well, the worst of what could happen. So the absence of being present, I would say, sounds paradoxical, but the absence of being present uh, in a constant remembrance or just being in the current moment, taking each moment as it comes. And that is how you build up your spiritual immunity to be able to see when things come. Because when fear is there at that point of time, the immunity is already gone down to face it. But when you are in a stable stage in the present moment, whatever is going to come, like you can prepare yourself to let it come and to see what is to be done with it. So that is the way I would see that, sister, if that answers your question.
Can I add, brother, something here?
Sure, sure.
I just feel the same thing which we discussed earlier. If the remembrance of the Almighty of Baba is constantly there, the fear also disappears. Because if you have faith in Baba, if you have faith in the Almighty, whatever happens anyway is going to be best for you. So it's only when you worry about the consequences, oh, ye ho jayega, wo ho jayega, you bring your energy so down and you will not be powerful. And if you say, I'm a powerful soul, you can only say that if you're fearless. Om Shanti.
Yeah, like how this analogy or this example is, no, that the presence of light is the absence of darkness. You don't really have to do anything with the darkness. But yeah, the presence of light, of awareness, I guess that's the answer to everything then.
My fear was, brother, what if out of syllabus question comes, like a student? That's being a teacher, or a student. That was the only thing. What if out of syllabus question comes at the end? Am I prepared?
Actually, if you see, there is no syllabus and there is nothing which is out of syllabus. And that's what drama is. So if you see that you said this is out of syllabus, then that is also some kind of an attachment or a resistance of something that you may not want to happen. So Harpreet Ben, Balwinder Ben is asking you something. Which practice do you use to remember Baba 24/7? So can you answer that to her, please?
I don't have a ready-made answer. To be honest, I don't know whether I remember 24/7 because obviously you have so many activities during the day. But I have this, which has improved over a period of time. I have this deep awareness and consciousness that he's just within me and around me. So even a little bit of stage drop in any manner, I just reflect immediately on that awareness and I'm just fine. Actually, to be very frank, I've stopped worrying about papers. That I feel is a good achievement for me. I've stopped worrying about which paper will come, what will happen. I just have total trust that everything will happen beautifully. And I'm ready. That's all that I believe in. Om Shanti.
So the way I would look at it now is that looking at what are we practicing. If we are practicing worrying, then that is what is going to show up. But instead of that, if we replace by practicing remembrance, slowly, gradually, we'll deepen into that and the concerns will be taken care of. That's what I feel.
And also, brother, considering ourselves as an instrument, as a child of God, then automatically the kind of papers won't affect, and there's a stable stage, and that is a constant remembrance stage. When I'm just an instrument, so who is playing the instrument? Who is the player? And what kind of music is being generated? What kind of experiences it's creating around? I'm an instrument. That is also which I practice, and we all can practice at sometimes. Om Shanti.
Brother, why don't you give us a nice focused mindset, which you always do, based on today's Murli?
Are you telling Ombai?
No, it's you, brother. You are the one for these unbound mindsets.
Okay. Okay, I was thinking I will tell Harpreet Ben to do a meditation commentary today. Harpreet Ben, can you?
Of course I can, but to be frank, I missed the initial part of the Murli because I was coming out of my other meditation. So, but I did the second half, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Raki Ben, can you, Rami Ben, can you put the music, some light music?
Sure. As the music helps you in stabilizing the vibrations within you, I can now connect to the celestial music of the Almighty Baba. I can feel and experience the relaxation within me, the calmness and trust. Everything will be perfect. Everything will be fine because Baba is with me. I have no reason to worry, no reason to fear as I surrender to Baba. And as I see my soul, the point of light, in the center of my forehead, leaving the body now, going higher and higher into Paramdham, experiencing the blissful blessings of the subtle world and of the world beyond. A beautiful, magical state of empowerment. I can see Baba's image. I can see just the light surrounding me, blessing me. I can experience my soul glowing as a brighter and brighter version from my old self. As I completely merge with Baba's light, I am a pure soul. I am a powerful soul. I am a fearless soul. I am a happy and victorious soul. As I conquer the illusionary world of Maya, and in constant remembrance of the Almighty, I am so empowered. I can experience the vibrations of the Almighty within me and all over the earth with blessings to everyone, with pure intention, pure thoughts. Such a beautiful world is what I imagine, what I experience. Fearless, powerful, full of courage and love in a combined state. I can see the whole earth being blessed and the vibrations making the earth brighter and brighter. And all the souls getting empowered. I can see the light of the Almighty shining through, blessing everyone. I am a beautiful instrument of God. And as I return back to the earth, I retain this beautiful, constant stage of remembrance, this constant stage of power, where there is no fear, trust, faith, love of the Almighty, and blessings for everyone. Om Shanti.
Beautiful. Thank you, sister. That was really wonderful. See you all tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Have a blissful day. Om Shanti.